Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this past week's trades in the weekly recap. Before I get into the recap, if you're not in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and in my bio section of social media accounts. Also, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I did finish the week with, 16 wins and 2 losses for a win rate of 88.89% for the week. Definitely happy about that. Had a good week. It was a really good week of trading, so happy about that. So, with that said, I'll look at the trade ideas room for, let's see, I don't even have my Twitter account up. I'm kind of like disorganized right now. Got some idiot down the street flying up and down the road on the dirt bike. It's kind of very annoying right now. Let's see, what is the day on Monday? It was 21st, okay. Okay, Monday I had 3 trades, 3 wins, so definitely happy about that. It said SPY calls over 439. Let's see, where's the 21st? Right here. I was looking for calls over 439. Had a little run up pre-market Monday run up, pullback right before open. So I was looking at calls over 439, which, well, technically this higher is like 438.73. So I just rounded up to 439. I didn't really want to call. I could have called 438.50, but I just wanted to be sure I got over this high. So I waited close to first half an hour. Mondays have just been really tricky for me off and on over the past 6 months or even this year. Sometimes I go right in after the first 10-minute candle, ORB, or I wait out the first 30 minutes. It just really depends on how I feel when it opens and that morning, and how I'm performing as like previous Mondays, because I don't know what it is. Mondays and Fridays have been iffy for me. Like Mondays, I would take a loss first trade of the day, first trade of the week. It would end up being a loss for a couple weeks in a row. Then it would go away. Then it would come back. Then Fridays, I'd do the same thing. I'd have a few Fridays in a row. Then it would stop. Then another Friday. It just happens off and on. And so I try to keep it in mind, but not overthink it. And sometimes I am my own worst enemy by overthinking sometimes. But I waited out the first close to 30 minutes. I took my first trade at 9:59. So yeah, I waited out the first 30 minutes. But when it broke higher day, I grabbed calls. I grabbed the 43.95 calls at 870, and it popped. It did make new higher day, but it quickly ended up rejecting. But I was able to get out. I got like $1 plus profit right there, so you can't complain about that. You're always going to anticipate a fake out. That's one of the reasons why I take it really fast when it breaks, is because you don't know if it's going to be a fake out. Now, if you held it thinking we're going to get a monster push, that would have probably ended up being a loss really, really quickly, versus anticipating it being a fake out and taking $1 plus. You stick to the rules, take $1 plus, and just get out. I mean, you take 10 contracts for $1 plus, you're going to make $1,000 a day. That's more than most people make at their normal job. Normal people, unless you're like a lawyer, you probably make more than that. But $1,000 a day is a good living, regardless. So if you look at it from that point of view, I mean, you just make it $1,000 a day, and then just call it in for the day. I mean, your losses will be very, very, very minimal, versus playing more and more you trade, more you have a chance of taking a loss. But you can also make more money. But you got to look at the risk factor more than the money factor, because it's really a hot fallacy thing, hot hand fallacy. The more wins you take, the more likely the next play is going to be a loss, and vice versa. That's why when I take like 2 or 3 losses in a row, I'll go in heavy, because I don't usually lose that many in a row consecutively. So it's a hot hand fallacy. It works both ways. So because I anticipated this being a fake out, I was able to have a little bit of a nice play. Then it came back down. Then when it broke lower day, I jumped on the other side. I jumped on puts right here. Right when it broke below the 437.40, I grabbed the 43.80 puts at 750, and they went from 750 to 1510, 100% move right there. Ended up being a good play. Then I took puts again at 951, which is right here. No, right here. You get this nasty red candle right here. You get the FU set up here. It didn't really break lower day right there. It came back up, ended up being a bear flag, which it was. So when I broke below the 436.60, I took puts. I took the 43.70 puts at 860, and they went from 860 to 1250. So another good play. And I didn't trade anything else. I mean, I had a pretty good Monday. I didn't want to do anything else. And plus, I wasn't sure about this. I know I took this in the challenge, but I wasn't sure when it was going to reverse. And sometimes I get it too early. I try to get the reversal too early. It ends up costing me. So I didn't look at it there, and I think I did take it right here in the challenge, and it just kept going. And I just like, nah, I'm not going to chase this. I'm not going to play this anymore. So I just pretty much sat on my hands the rest of the day. Had 3 good trades. There's no point in doing anything crazy. So now on Tuesday, traded Air's room, I said SPY puts on a 440.50, which is right here. I can see why I picked it here. I could have picked it right there, but SPY was up here right around 9 o'clock. What was it? 9 o'clock was right here. So I used this low right here, and it broke it on the first summary candle. I didn't touch it. I waited for the next candle. I didn't touch it then. I got it right here. But for some reason, I got it at 953. Not quite sure why I grabbed it here. I could see why I would have grabbed it there, but I grabbed it at 953. For some reason, I grabbed it right here, and I grabbed the 4400 puts at 760, and they went from 760 to 1020. So I'm not quite sure why I grabbed it there. Let's see what the hourly looks like. The 21st, which is right here. Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I really don't know why I grabbed it here and not there. But either way, ended up being a good play. Got a little bit of a move out of that. Then I grabbed puts again at 1026, which is right here. You got this push drop right here. Bounced up the VWAP, which is the white dashed line. When it came back down and broke below the 439.50 area, I grabbed the 43.95 puts at 710. And then went from 710 to 1090 right there. So it ended up being a good play. And so then I grabbed what? Puts again 1109, which is right here. No, right here. 1109 right there. Pushed up to the RCT trend line, closed to VWAP, came back down. When it broke below this 439, I think I grabbed it at 439. Yeah, I think I grabbed it at 439. No, I think I grabbed it right here, 439.10. Because you see the body of these candles. This is where I would have got it right there. So I got the 43.95 puts again at 740 this time. And they went from 740 to 860. So yeah, I got it here and it dropped right there. So I get about almost $1 plus move on that. Bounced up. Then I grabbed calls at 228, which is over here. Well, anyways, I didn't grab it right here. I think the reason why I didn't grab it here is when it went to try to break new lower day, it didn't. It got bought quickly and it came back down. I wasn't sure it was going to drop more, and then it did actually right there. So I think I was thinking it. I might have grabbed it in challenge. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I did switch to calls at 230, 228, which is right here. And I get why I grabbed it here. It bounced up to the 20 EMA, rejected, made new lower day really, really quickly, got bought up. Then it consolidated a bunch of candles right here. And it started to make a little bit of a rounded bottom right here. So when I got over 438.40, this is where I grabbed calls. I grabbed the 43.90 calls at 590, and they went from 590 to 850. So that ended up being a pretty good play. So Nice first couple days, did really, really well. And then on Wednesday, I took my first loss. But this was one of these straight up days. I just was not too kosher with this day. But anyways, the trade ideas room for Wednesday, SPY puts under 438, which was 9 o'clock. I posted it, which was right here. 9 o'clock, right there, this candle. So 438 was the previous day's low. And it shot up right there, right at open. So I waited out the first 10 minutes. Okay, no, I waited almost a full hour. So I took it at 10:23. Okay, I remember this. You had all these green candles. I waited for the red candle, FU set up. I took it when it broke over. I think I took it when it broke over 441.10, I think. And it pulled back, then it rocketed. But I had the 44.20 calls at 760, and then went from 760 to 830. So no, it looks like I might have bought it right over the 441 area, and it got that little bit of a push. Yeah, I think that's what ended up happening, because it didn't go very far. I went from 760 to 830. So it would have gone a lot higher than that in that push right there. So I sold it right there, and it dropped down, and then it popped more. Of course, it's just you don't know what SPY is gonna do. So it is what it is. I didn't want to chase that. I just sat until 11:35, which was right here. Okay, I see I get right here. At the body of these candles right here, you get pushed to new high a day, and it quickly ended up being a fake out. So when I broke below 441.85, I took puts. I took puts right here. I took them at actually I took it right there, I think. See, I took the 44.25 puts at 710. They went from 710 to $8. Not quite $1, but close enough. Good thing I took it, because it popped more, and it just went more. And I was not expecting this. What was going on this day? There was something going on Wednesday. Core flash PMI was down. Yeah, flash PMI was down. And flash PMI for manufacturing services was down, and of course SPY popped. So I was kind of not really thinking mentally on the right side this time. I was thinking, okay, we're just gonna end up selling off, because what's been happening lately is that if SPY pops the first hour to 2 hours, it ends up selling off the rest of the day. Or if it dips the first couple hours, it ends up V-rallying. And this day it didn't dump, it just kept going. So I think I just, especially with the bad news, I thought, okay, well, we're gonna dump. So I was kind of waiting for that, and it just never ended up happening. So then I took puts at 301. I should have taken it right here or right here, but bounced off the 20 EMA. 301, which is right here. Okay. You see why I took it here. It's making a downtrend. Well, no, it's still in the uptrend, but I mean, it's candles is dropping right here, and it's at the 20 EMA. The candles is getting smaller and smaller. So when I broke below the 442.50 area, that's where I grabbed puts, thinking that we were going to dump, because you get the red candles, a little small FU set up, then it dropped, and I was thinking, okay, a small little bear flag in this uptrend right here, we're going to drop, and actually drop end of day, and it didn't. So I had the 44.30 puts at 330. Didn't have that many. I think I only had a few. I don't really remember. I didn't have that much into it, because every time SPY has these ridiculous days like this, it just doesn't work out. And NVIDIA, this was NVIDIA ER, because that's NVIDIA right there. And the market was probably just high on hopium for NVIDIA having good earnings, which it did. But that's probably, I think, the main reason that SPY was running that day. NVIDIA was pulling the market with it, and it is what it is. I thought maybe we'd get a little bit of a end of the day drop on fear of a bad earnings, but did not happen. So that was the first loss of the week. So then on let's see, the 24th, Thursday, SPY puts under 444.50, which is rate, I said at 9 o'clock right there. I think it was up here when I looked at it. So 444.50. This is the low right there, but I rounded down, kept it kind of close, kind of something I normally don't do, but I could have said 444, but I didn't. So first 10-minute candle is red. I'm looking to the downside already. And then when it broke the lower day on the second 10-minute candle, I took 44.35 puts at 750. And they went from 750 to 850 in that little drop right there. Took the $10. Dollar, not $10. It took the dollar. Get out. Easy dollar plays. I mean, that's the thing I love about SPX is that if you can catch the play right, catch it in the right area or at the right time, you can easily get $1 or $2 and make a day's money just in one play. If you go on the $1,000 a day kind of scenario. But then it got bought up and it came back to higher day, so I switched to the other side. I switched to calls. I switched to calls at 9:58, which is right here, right when it broke this higher day. Grabbed the 44.60 calls at 8:40, and they went to 8:40 to 9:70. Not much of a play, another dollar plus move. Then it quickly dropped down to lower day. So yeah, this was this is what SPY loves to do. And usually I wait it out, but because it had such a run, I was looking at it to the downside. And when it did we got the play there, then it quickly went to higher day. I was like, okay, maybe it's gonna pop. So I grabbed it here and got a little play out of that. Then it just got slammed, and then I was just like, okay, I'll quickly jump to puts. So I had 3 trades, like less than like half an hour right there. So we had one, then 2. When it came back down here, and I broke below the 443.50 area, which is the lower day. I grabbed the 44.40 puts at 8.90, and they went from 8.90 to 21.80 right there, and you get that nasty drop, and that was it. I called it a day. So I was not expecting that level of a kind of a drop, but it ended up working out well. Had 3 really good trades. I can't complain about that. Then on Friday, we had Jackson Hole. Powell was speaking. I don't think he only spoke for like 10 minutes. I thought he spoke on the Jackson Hole for like half an hour, I thought it was like a long time, but he didn't speak that long. It was like 10 minutes, I think, maybe 20 tops. But before other times I remember him speaking, I thought it was hours. He was on a panel and he would speak, then he'd get asked questions, and this time was just different. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but I thought that was the way it was. But anyways, I traded his room pre-market Friday morning, so I put under 437, which is down here, the low of the candle, which is also where previous day's close was. But it didn't drop. 9 o'clock was right here, so it was coming down. So I was like, okay, I don't want to use that low because it's already right here. So I'll use this area right in here. This is where we had a low right here, PDC. So it ended up being up pretty good. So so the first trade I took was puts 10.08, which was right here, right when it broke the 438, I think 50 area, I think is where I grabbed it. I grabbed the 43.60 puts at 750, and no, I had to get it lower. I had to get it underneath 438 because when I grabbed it, it went from 750 to 820. So I had to have grabbed it right here. I had to grab it down here under 438.10 or something. That's where I grabbed it. So yeah, the 43.60 puts at 750 to 820. So they didn't go that far. So that was where I grabbed it down here. Because if I grabbed it up here, that probably would have gone probably close to 100%. But I grabbed it probably down in here under 438, and you got a little bit of like a 25-cent drop, and that seems about right for it to move 70 cents. So on that. So then I switched to calls really quickly when it broke higher day, which was no, not higher day. I think I grabbed it right over 439.25 if I remember correctly. I grabbed a 44.20 calls at $7, and it went from $7 to $13.70. So that went almost 100%. Then I grabbed puts right underneath 438 again, right here. So yeah, we had puts here, got that little bit of a play. Then it popped out because this is where Powell was speaking. Powell spoke right here. It started to dump. We got it there. There's play number one. And play number two is when the market decided to reverse and do the fake out, do the Powell shuffle, I call it. And it popped new higher day right when it broke over this. Then once Powell stopped talking, I believe Powell stopped talking in this candle, and the market just started to realize, okay, maybe this is not something good, because Powell said something along the lines of we have no problem raising rates more, and the market does not want to hear that. The banks, I don't think, can handle much more of interest rates going up. So we could see more bank collapses if that is the case, which I'm kind of surprised. After Silicon Valley, and we had a couple of banks that almost failed, that came close to failing, or failed, whatever you want to call it. I'm surprised we haven't had more, because we've had rates up this high for so long. I'm surprised more banks have not failed or had any news on it. Or maybe they have, and we're just not getting coverage of it. Who knows? The media just likes to cherry pick the news. So, I mean, if interest rates keep going up, I mean, we could see more bank failures coming down the road, but who knows? We'll have to see if that actually does happen. But anyways, when it broke 438, I grabbed the 43.60 puts at $7, and they went from $7 to $16 in that dump. So that ended up being a really good play. Then I switched to calls at 115, which is right here. No, 115. 115 right here. I didn't grab it here. I pulled up to the 200 EMA, which is the purple line, and pulled back, got bought off from 20 EMA and VWAP, and it quickly came back up. So I bought it over the 439 area. I'm thinking we were going to rage. Inverted head and shoulders. You get the left head right here, and you get the left shoulder here, and you get the head right here. Then you get the right shoulder right here. So I was like, okay, we're going to pop right here. So I grabbed the 4,400 calls at 660. Then it dropped, and I stopped out at 3. So then I grabbed them again at 205, which is right here, right when it got to that level again, because I got it initially, what time? 115, which is right here. And that's where it dumped and stopped out. Then I didn't need to stop out, but I don't know where it's going to go. Still making a higher low. They get the low, higher low, and higher low. So it's starting to look pretty good. The inverted head and shoulders is still in play. So I did like it when it came back up here. I was like, okay, I'm going to grab it again, but then I'm going to grab something closer to the money. We grabbed the 43.95 calls at 710. They went from 710 to 1180. So that ended up being a good play. So a good Friday. 4 wins and 1 loss. I was going to call it right here. And just for some reason, Fridays, I don't do well on Fridays lately. I don't know why. I mean, last Friday I think I did good, but the Fridays before that, I think I didn't do that good. I haven't been doing good, so. But anyways, after I got stopped out of this and it came back up, I said, screw it, I'm taking it because it's gonna end up popping, and it did. So went from 710 to 1180, so it went like $4 plus. So definitely happy that it finally did push. I didn't need to take the loss, but it is what it is. I'm not going to lose sleep. I had a great week. It was a good week. Hopefully next week will be just as good, maybe better, hopefully. But that's going to do it for the recap. I hope this has helped, and thanks for watching.